What is up, everybody? It is JT Sports. I am back to you guys with another video. I want to discuss Matt Nagy's job security for the Chicago Bears this upcoming NFL season. Now, this is a new series that I'm doing. I'm going to be evaluating several head coaches' job securities who are considered to be on the hot seat. I just did Zach Taylor. Make sure that you guys go ahead and check out that video. There'll be a playlist up above. And I'm going to be reevaluating these head coaches' job securities at several parts of the season. I'm starting off with, the offseason right now, heading into training camp. Then I'm going to reevaluate in the middle of the season, week 9, week 10. And then I'm going to be reevaluating, pretty much doing my predictions on which coach is going to keep their job and which head coach is going to end up getting fired and is going to be in the unemployment line. Now, when you look at Matt Nagy is in a pretty interesting scenario, to say the least. Because heading into this year, he isn't in a situation like Matt Nagy where he's coming off a losing record. The Bears went to the playoffs last year. Although they did it in ugly fashion, they pretty much backdoored their way in. They went 8-8. They somehow got into the playoffs. When you look at the Bears ownership, I think the Bears ownership is one of those ownerships that they're okay with at least making it to the playoffs. As long as the Bears somehow manage to get in, they're okay with it. They're not going to have Matt Nagy's job in question. And on top of that, Matt Nagy hasn't been bad. I mean, yeah, his play call has received a lot of scrutiny, and rightfully so. But the Bears have won under Matt Nagy. His record is over 500. He has a record of 28-20. He went to the playoffs 2 out of the last 3 years that he's been in Chicago. 2018, they went 12-4. 2019, they went 8-8, missed the playoffs. Last year, they went 8-8, backdoored their way into the playoffs. I know a lot of Bears fans are going to say the main reason that Matt Nagy had the success that he did in his first year was because of current Broncos head coach Vic Fangio, who was the defensive coordinator at the time. And I understand that. But at the same time, though, I think the offense definitely did improve that season. Mitchell Trubisky improved that year. He was a Pro Bowler that year, which may surprise you guys if you guys didn't know that Mitchell Trubisky actually went to a Pro Bowl, which is crazy because you think of how bad people say Mitchell Trubisky is. He was able to make it to the Pro Bowl. So he had a pretty good year under Matt Nagy in 2018. Now, things definitely regressed 2019 and 2020. But they were somehow able to weather the storm and get into the playoffs because they started the season out pretty solid, but they didn't have a tough schedule. Then they ended up playing Tampa Bay. They were able to steal a win from them Thursday night. Then the Chicago Bears had to do like musical chairs at the quarterback position. They were going back between Mitch and Nick Foles. It looks like they were going to be settled on Nick Foles, but then they went back to Mitchell Trubisky. You don't really have that instability at QB anymore, really. You have Andy Dalton, who I'm expecting to play pretty well until, the middle part of the season. Then I think when the Bears start losing games, we're going to see Justin Fields inserted into the starting lineup. And this is how we're going to gauge Matt Nagy's job security. This is how you're going to know when Matt Nagy is starting to feel the pressure of the hot seat. When Justin Fields gets inserted into the starting quarterback role at any point this season, after the Bears lose a couple of games, that's where we're going to say, oh yeah, Matt Nagy's definitely on the hot seat. Because if Matt Nagy isn't on the hot seat, I don't think that he would have as much confidence as he seems to have in Andy Dalton, because I feel like if his job was on the line, they would have went ahead and named Justin Fields the week 1 starter right away. It seems like they're riding with Andy Dalton for some odd reason. They feel like Andy Dalton is good enough to get them to the playoffs. And it seems like they're pretty hell-bent on, saying that Justin Fields does need to start week 1. But if there comes a point in the season where we end up seeing Justin Fields as a starter, unless it's due to Andy Dalton having an injury, I think that's a pretty good indicator that Matt Nagy's job definitely is on the line. But as of right now, if I had to rate his job security 1 through 5, I probably would say a 3. Because, I think he's in between. The McCaskies seem like they're an ownership that is okay with their head coach as long as they're able to get in the playoffs. I don't think they care about having any more success outside of that. You know, not trying to say that every team's ownership does want to win a Super Bowl, because everybody wants to win a Super Bowl. But I think the McCaskies at the end of the year will be okay with saying, you know, we ain't do nothing in the playoffs, but at least we made it. I think they're one of those ownerships. So for Matt Nagy, all he really needs to do to keep his job is to find a way to get the Bears into the playoffs, which should be able to be done, because I don't think that this division is all that tough. We don't know the status of Aaron Rodgers. Then you got the Vikings and the Detroit Lions, who I don't think the Lions are going to be, you know, de facto in determining who's going to win this division. But I definitely think the Lions are going to be a competitive football team. The Vikings, I think Mike Zimmer definitely is on the hot seat. He's in a way different situation than what Matt Nagy is. So right now, Matt Nagy, I think that his job isn't, you know, up in air. But it definitely is a concern. I think it's hard for me to describe. It's like 50-50, man. It's like 50-50, yeah, 50-50. Nay, that's why I gave him a 3 out of 5, really, because that's in between. So for the McCaskies, a family that, you know, doesn't really seem to care all that much about postseason success, I think as long as Matt Nagy gets the Bears to the playoffs this year, he should be in a pretty good spot. So we're going to revisit this. Like I said, I'm going to be revisiting these head coaches who are currently on the hot seat right now, or considered to be on the hot seat in the middle portion of this year's season. And I'm going to come back and give my updated thoughts on Matt Nagy. But for right now, I think Matt Nagy has a little bit of pressure. He has a little bit of heat, but it's not intensive heat. So let me know what you guys think about Matt Nagy's job security going into the 2021 NFL season. Make sure that you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and college football videos. And thanks for watching.